Next, our next national recipient also, well, in fact, you heard me say this over and over again. I say, you know, I was happy to see their name in rotation, or it touched me when I saw it come. Because I do want you to know that because of the process, I don't make nominations and I just get to announce them.
That's all right, Sean.
You know, thank you. Thank you. You got to run a room with me. But I was really happy to see this name in rotation. We're talking about Sheriff David Gould. David Gould is a person that in this community, I would have to say, and I'm actually going to try to speak for everybody, kind of showed up when he was necessary. I think in the legal community, as far as law and law being applied to people, and certainly the people of color, for me to be frank, there was a really huge scissor that was there, and folks trying to figure our way forward. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, with the power of the largest tidal wave, but unbelievably quiet in voice and very calm in nature, showed up and quietly started doing this thing that was necessary. He just started talking to everybody. No press conferences, no this. He kind of just came on the back door, kind of knocked on the back stoop, and he would sit with you. And he would make you believe that what he was saying about equity of application was true. I knew it was true when I was growing up. My parents were very clear with me. They said, if you ever go to jail, I will not visit you. They were just really clear, like, that is just not a place that people that I raised go to. If you go there, you obviously have my child for a while, I'll wait till you to get out. And so I adopted that even as a national personality who does a lot of frontline work on diversity and you know, incarceration and school, the prison pipeline. I still had that thought process. I will never go to a jail. I will never go to a prison to do work. One time in my lifetime did I do that. And that was when David Gould called on me and said, there is a young man in this place that I think should not be in this place. And I would like for you to come and have a talk with him. And what he did was amazing. Instead of having me go into the jail, into lockup, he brought this young man out of lockup, brought him to his office. Made sure he had no handcuffs on him. And we sat there for about 2.5 hours while I talked to this young man and explained to him why this was not a good move for him. This literally could be like a stop at the Hilton. He did not have to return, right? And I think that collaborative nature that Dave, what he thought about was who could reach him. Right? He recognized that if a judge says from the bench, if I ever see you again, I'm going to send you away, that means send me away now, because if you haven't changed why I showed up, I'm coming back. David Gould did the work to make certain that a lot of people did not come back. He made certain that people had a really divine kind of invitation to being treated like everybody else. And a lot of white people say to me that they're colorblind. David proved to me that he wasn't colorblind. He saw color, he understood it, and he wanted to make certain that people got equal access and opportunity. And he did that. And so I cannot say enough for the model that he has put forth for the way that law enforcement or community policing should look like around this community and around this country. It is with great pleasure that I invite you to meet Mr. David Gould, 2019 Harriet Tubman National Award.
I was almost ready to cry. I didn't expect that. I knew Sean and I were good friends, but I didn't expect that. But thank you so much, Sean. I've done enough speeches where I know if I don't write it down and go from the speeches, that I will talk forever. And I know we've got a limit tonight. So I wrote it down. I'll be brief, though. I certainly want to start by thanking Sean and certainly all involved in the selection committee for this great honor. I'm very humbled, and I mean that sincerely. It is very humbling to win this. I also want to congratulate the other 5 award winners. It is such a distinct honor for me to share the stage with such an outstanding selection of distinguished individuals. Congratulations to all of you. I also want to thank all of you in attendance here today. It is obvious that you care about Harriet Tubman and her legacy and what she stood for, or you would not be here today. As many people have said before, I consider myself the luckiest, quote, luckiest person in the world today. There are very many reasons why I feel that way. I would like to share just a few. My first reason is I think most of you know that know me, know my biggest passion in life is to helping others who truly need our help. I do this by serving on over 30 boards, committees, and foundations, all of which serve to provide health, strength, and hope for our fellow citizens that need that health, strength, and hope to live day by day. This volunteerism was passed on to me by my loving parents. My mom and dad were both born in the 1930s, when times were tough in this country. My mom was born with polio, but she was one of the luckiest survivors, individuals that survived that horrible disease. Even though she walked with a limp and lived her full life, meaningful life, my mom and dad lived in the village of Huga, and along with numerous friends, walked miles and miles every year, door to door, to collect money for the March of Dimes, so that in one day a cure could be found, so that no other person would ever be born with or have to live with polio. To this day, I truly believe that my mom and dad and their friends had a lot to do with finding a cure, that terrible disease. They both taught me the meaning of to give back. My second reason that I consider myself so very lucky is that I have had the distinct honor to serve our country, our great country, by serving in the U.S. Army. I have had the distinct honor to serve this great state of New York by serving almost 35 years as a proud member of the New York State Police. And lastly, I've had the greatest of honor by serving our county and our community as the Cuyahoga County Sheriff, the Chief Law Enforcement Officer in this county for the last 12 years until I retired at the beginning of this year. My last reason that I feel lucky is that I have two beautiful ladies in my life. One is my wife, Suzanne. Sus, please raise your hand. And my loving daughter, Kate, who I love so very much. Sue works at the Gavis Center, which helps people in this community, and I'm very proud of her for doing that. Kate lives in New York City and is a graphic designer for a prominent magazine, so I'm very proud of both of them. Please remember the motto that I have lived my whole life by every day, and I'm sure Harriet lived the same motto. Respect should never be demanded. Respect should always be earned. In closing, I once again want to congratulate my fellow award winners and thank Sean and all the great members of the Harriet Tubman Freedom Music Festival, the Kaleidoscope Dance Theater, and the Institute of Dance and Education. This is a very humbling honor. I live about a mile from here, and Harriet Tubman, as we all know, lived down South Street, which is less than a mile from where I live. And to receive this award, named after Harriet Tubman, is the greatest honor of my life. May God bless Harriet, who is in heaven looking down at all of us and her family. May God bless all of you, and may God bless our great country, the United States of America. Thank you so much.